So Eddie Hall was asked how he would do against Thor Bjornsson in an arm wrestling match. Here's what he said.
I want to see Eddie versus Thor in arm wrestling from Aaron. What do you think, Eddie?
I think I'd snap his arm off.
We know Eddie and Thor have had a beef for a long time, basically dating back to the 2017 World's Strongest Man. They had a boxing match, and the cool thing about arm wrestling is it's a sport you can do when you're older, once you retire from, for example, a strongman career, but it seems like Thor is still pretty much all in to strongman at the moment, so I don't think this match would likely happen anytime soon, maybe in several years or so. But that's the cool thing about arm wrestling, like I said, is that, athletes can do it after their career, whether it's in powerlifting or bodybuilding or any other strength sport, and then they could transition to arm wrestling. This is him breaking the deadlift world record, breaking Eddie's record over the weekend, 505 kilograms, absolutely ridiculous. But Thor has been on an arm wrestling table before actually gripping up with Devin. This was in 2015. Let's have a look here. So this is 10 years ago. Definitely a much leaner Devin. He looks a bit different nowadays, but you see him just completely holding Thor. But the thing about Thor compared to Eddie, he has longer forearms, I would assume a larger hand, so the potential is definitely huge if he gives it time on the arm wrestling table to learn the basics and strengthen his tendons, but that would definitely take some time. So, it's pretty clear that Eddie has the experience advantage over Thor now, but who knows? You could see this match, 5 to 10 years from now if Thor finishes with strongman and decides there's money in arm wrestling, which that's the cool thing about it. We're seeing so many strongman athletes get into it, and we're going to see a lot of them at the Shaw Classic. You see Thor trying a press there, little bit dangerous for a beginner to be doing a tricep press there. But Devin just holding Thor. This is 10 years ago. Pretty cool footage. But who knows, if Thor decides to get into arm wrestling after his strongman career, that would be pretty interesting. I did put up a poll here a couple weeks ago, who would win, and not surprisingly, Eddie Hall, massive favorite here. He's got the experience with super matches. He just pulled Brian Shaw, as we know, back in December. Eddie pulls Thor's full body with right arm across table with family, 2025. Eddie's got that technique down. Thor would get destroyed so fast. This person says Thor is actually the only guy who has the genetic potential to beat Levon other than Brian, guys like Brian Shaw or other monsters. But this person says Thor probably has better genetics for arm wrestling, but Eddie has more experience. So as of right now, Eddie wins. If Thor trained for a while, he would have the advantage. Probably a fair assessment, like I said, considering just the frame, the overall frame, the length of the forearm, size of the hand, which is definitely huge factors in arm wrestling. But yeah, it would be cool to see these guys have a match, who knows, 5 to 10 years from now or at some point in time. They obviously have a beef. They've had the boxing match, and it only makes sense that they would have an arm wrestling match at some point in time. What are your thoughts on what Eddie Hall said there? Do you think he would snap Thor's arm off and get some revenge for him losing the deadlift record there and losing the boxing match against Thor a couple years ago? Hit like and subscribe, guys. I'll be back with some more content.